This one's directed by Simon Curtis, who last year made Goodbye Christopher Robin, which I very much enjoyed. And just based on the title, the poster and the premise for this one, well, I had a pretty good idea of what I was in for, and I was looking forward to it. I expected this to be a very enjoyable movie slathered in cheese. What I didn't expect though was that this would be pretty much a perfectly engineered tearjerker from beginning to end. I mean, the whole thing starts off with this very cutesy narration by a dog at the end of its days. And that narration continues throughout the movie too, as the story is essentially told from the perspective of the dog. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, because this one pretty much hits all the right beats. It seems to be on a mission to get you to cry, and in that sense, it is relentless. And you know what? It's also very effective, because I was a mess watching this. And I mean a complete mess, and if you make it through this one with dry eyes, I don't know, you might be emotionally dead inside or something. Because this one really tries hard, it pulls out all the cliches, and it does it well too. I mean, this is a very competently made movie, nothing wrong with it. From the cinematography to the editing, the pacing, the acting, the score, everything is very solid, and the story here works too. Very well actually. And I did find the characters to be compelling as well. Even the doggy narration kinda worked for me. But yeah, that being said, it's hardly a very original movie. In that it does get super cheesy, and as I mentioned, it does contain quite a few cliches. And even if the doggy narration didn't really bother me anywhere near as much as I thought it would, it does get a bit silly and way too cutesy for its own good from time to time too. And yeah, this is absolutely an emotionally manipulative movie. There's no two ways about it, it's designed to get to you, and it does it flawlessly. And listen, I'm actually a pretty jaded person, I see through this kind of stuff immediately. I could clearly tell what it was up to from the very first scene, and just went, okay, here we go. But it still got to me again and again, it just got to me, especially toward the end. And well, does that make this a great movie? I don't know, I wouldn't go that far. But it does make it an extraordinarily effective movie that achieves exactly what it wants to and is supposed to. And I just realized that I haven't really talked about the story at all. But it essentially follows this up-and-coming race car driver, and his personal journey and his attempt to pursue his dreams, while at the same time trying to balance that with his budding family life. And the dog sort of works as an interesting way of telling that story, because it just provides a unique perspective to the whole thing. However, ultimately, I feel like it's really just another tool to get to you, emotionally. Because I started thinking, how does the dog actually affect the story? Does the dog even need to be there for the story to work? And the simple answer to that is no, it absolutely doesn't need to be there. The story would work just fine without it. You just have to tell it in a more conventional way, following the people a bit more closely instead of relying on the dog to do the heavy lifting. But it was still an interesting approach, and it definitely made the movie feel a bit more unique. However, would I recommend this one? I mean, if you're looking for a tearjerker, you need a good cry, then this is the movie for you. But if you can't stand cliches, cheesy stuff and manipulative talking dogs, you should probably stay away. Or, do whatever you want to do. After all, I'm not your dad. But hey, what are your thoughts on this? Have you seen it? Did you like it? Let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, maybe give it a thumbs up or sub to the channel, because that would be fantastic. And if you'd like, you can also support me on Patreon or PayPal through the links in the description. And as always, I appreciate you and thanks for watching.